get great numbers. I just want to thank everybody who took the time out to either listen or watch the pod and who listened to it, who shared it. I definitely want to I perfectly appreciate y'all for taking the time to do that. That meant a lot to me. And we just be talking, and it's always dope to get y'all feedback and things that we do. Um, the video was real positive. I got real good positive feedback. I felt like people really understood where I was coming from. And I just wanted to let everybody know, like, you're not alone. You know what I'm saying? You're not alone in this. This is just this is what they, this is what we was dealt with in this mental health thing. But that don't mean you got to deal with it by yourself. You know what I mean? So I just want to thank y'all again for just always showing love, man. And we're gonna kick. That's how we want. I wanted to kick the show off just by showing my appreciation to you guys. What's been up with you guys though? Like, what's been going on? How's everything been? I hope the week has been good to y'all. I hope everything has been blessed, lovely. It's cold as hell out here in Cleveland. We represent the 216 fresh out of Cleveland, Ohio. Yeah, man. Let's get into it. So this morning I wanted to talk about the ICE situation again. I really wanted to get into it because, after watching videos and certain things that's been going on, I don't know how to feel about it. I know in America we have the right to bear arms, and I don't know how to feel about it, So let's check out some news and let's see let's hear this clip and then let's come back and let's discuss, you know what I'm saying?
Preddy and others shouting at the agents who had blocked an intersection on January 13th. The man, who looks like Preddy, kicking a federal vehicle. Agents then getting out and taking him to the ground, then firing gas into the crowd. Agents then got up and the man appearing to be Preddy walks away with a gun visible in his waistband. We don't know what happened before this altercation. The video is being reviewed by DHS. A Customs and Border Protection spokesperson now telling ABC News the two officers involved in Preddy's deadly shooting have been on leave since the shooting Saturday, which contradicts comments made by Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino over the weekend.
All agents that were involved in that scene are working, not in Minneapolis, but in other locations. That's for their safety.
The Department of Homeland Security has not responded to questions about the discrepancy. Meanwhile, Attorney General Pam Bondi in Minneapolis announcing more than a dozen protesters have been arrested. And now, growing bipartisan calls of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem to resign.
She's a complete failure on a disaster response. She clearly doesn't know how to manage. She's never managed a large organization, and she's failing at every possible measure of the job.
Congresswoman Ilhan Omar was attacked at a town hall in Minneapolis last night after calling for Noem to resign. The FBI is investigating the incident. Omar, who's been widely criticized by the president and the administration, speaking out again tonight.
We know this is not about public safety or immigration enforcement. It is state-sanctioned violence and political retribution. We must abolish ICE. This moment demands it.
Jacqueline Lee, ABC News, Los Angeles.
So yeah, so that clip right there, kind of showed the other side of it. So for me, it was the ICE agents was already in the police car. They was already getting ready to leave the scene. Then you have Nurse Petty who comes over and he starts kicking the car. He starts spitting at the car. He starts doing a lot of disrespectful things. So then they react. He kicked the car so hard he knocked the tail out of the car. He knocked the whole tail light out of the car. So he knocks the whole taillight out of the car. And it's like, damn, bro. So then you kick the taillight out of the car. Boom. Kick the taillight out of the car. Now they coming out there. Now they on shit. Because what you gotta understand about these guys, these ICE agents or whatever, they're doing this stuff that they're doing because they're allowed to do it. That's why they don't face no penalty. So now I'm not saying that Alex Petty should have got killed. No, I'm not saying that. I don't think his consequence should not have been murder. No, but what I'm saying, it was not smart to do the things that he did that led up to his passing. I mean, at some point we got to understand and be adults about it. Like at the end of the day, you don't kick a police car and then feel like you can get that off. But again, I'm not saying that death should have been his consequence, because it should not have been his consequence. It just should not have happened. He should have got locked up. Of course, I think you did all that with having a gun on you. So I just don't know. I understand the public outrage a little bit, but then it's kind of like, dude, you provoked them, and we know what's been going on the last 15 years with the police. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be an asshole, but like, let's call a spade, man. The thing is wild. It's wild, bro. It's wild. But like I said, I don't think that he deserved to die. I just don't. But that's why you have to check your emotions at the door, because your emotions can have you caught up in some foul situations. You know what I mean? So, my boy, Will McCoy just went live on TikTok, so we about to tap in, jump on in over there. But yeah, I just wanted to touch out with this situation because, like, I just didn't understand it, and once I seen it, I'm like, it's kind of hard to sit here and say, yeah, Petty, yeah, you was right, Petty, because you was wrong, and you shouldn't provoke them people like that. That's just my theory. You know what I mean? That's just me. That's just me. But y'all let me know in the comments. Y'all reach out to me, and let me know what's up. Let me know what's going on. What y'all think about, how y'all feel about it. I just feel like as if that shouldn't have happened on both ends. That's how I feel. I feel like that shouldn't happen on both ends, and that's just how I feel about it. At the end of the day, but we're gonna switch on to another topic. Again, let me know how y'all feel about that topic that we just covered. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, let me know about that topic we just covered. I'm reaching out to my guys, letting them know I'll be over there in a minute. So bear with me. I'm always doing some things. I'm always doing 2 or 3 things at once. I like to multitask. That's always been me. You know what I mean? That's always. So let y'all type in with me. Let me know how y'all feel about that. So our next topic that we're gonna roll into, we're gonna roll right into the sports situation, man. So in the NBA, one of the top guys in the NBA got suspended 25 games for drugs. He said he was using it for mental health. He used the wrong thing. I know the NBA don't test for weed no more. So now I'm just thinking, like, what the fuck did you take? Boy, you over there snorting coke, my boy? So let's tap in and see what's going on. Shout out to Flight Mike, by the way, on his page.
For medication will cost Paul George the next 25 games.
Well, guys, this is going to cost Paul George almost $12 million.
That he takes full responsibility and apologized to the team and fans.
Kind of next man up mentality for quite a while, and we're going to have to dig in and do it again.
5 days ago, Paul George had the best game of his entire Philadelphia 76ers career. 32 points, 9 3-pointers. He became only the 3rd player in NBA history to hit 9 threes in a single game, joining only Steph Curry and James Harden in that club. The Sixers blew out the Bucks by 17 points. Joel Embiid was healthy. Tyrese Maxey was cooking. For the first time in what feels like forever, the Big Three in Philadelphia actually looked like it could make some noise in the Eastern Conference. So the NBA naturally looked at this situation and said, hold on, something here ain't right. And guess what? They were absolutely correct. On Saturday morning, the NBA dropped a bomb that nobody saw coming. Paul George has been suspended for 25 games for violating the league's anti-drug program. That's a quarter of the entire season gone. And the reason behind it is where this story gets really fascinating. And what's even crazier is, believe it or not, this may have just helped the Philadelphia 76ers even more. I'm going to get to all that in just a minute, so make sure you subscribe and have our notifications on, and follow us on Instagram so you can influence what content we make. Announced that Paul George violated the terms of the NBA NBPA anti-drug program. Now, under this program, players get randomly tested for 3 categories of substances: drugs of abuse, alcohol, and PEDs. And the league didn't specifically say which category Paul George fell into, but here's the key detail that tells us everything. A 25-game suspension is the standard punishment for a first-time PED violation under the 2017 collective bargaining agreement. Before that, it used to be 20 games. They bumped it up to 25 specifically to send a stronger message. So when you see 25 games, that's the league's way of telling you that Paul George wasn't just smoking the devil's lettuce or going on a bender with some of his buddies. This was the PED category. Now, the financial hit Paul George is taking from this is absolutely brutal. I mean, he's making $51.7 million this season. The suspension is going to cost him roughly $11.7 million in forfeited salary. He won't be eligible to return until March 25th against the Chicago Bulls, which means he's going to miss everything from now through late March. The Sixers will only have 10 games left in the regular season when he comes back. 10 games to figure out chemistry with the guy who hasn't played in 2 months. That's a nightmare scenario heading into the playoffs. Now, this story unfortunately takes a very dark turn. Paul George released a statement to Shams, and I want to read you exactly what he said because the wording here matters. Over the past few years, I've discussed the importance of mental health, and in the course of recently seeking treatment for an issue of my own, I made the mistake of taking an improper medication. I take full responsibility for my actions and apologize to the Sixers organization, my teammates, and the Philly fans for my poor decision making during this process. He went on to say that I am focused on using this time to make sure that my mind and body are in the best condition to help the team when I return. Now, some people are wondering if this is just some convenient excuse, because this is typically what anyone says whenever they get caught with PEDs.
Oh, I just took an improper medication and it just happened to have testosterone in it. Oops.
But you can make a very reasonable argument to give Paul George the benefit of the doubt because he's been a huge vocal advocate for mental health in the entire NBA for years now. In August of 2020, during the NBA bubble, Paul George came forward and admitted that he was struggling badly. He said he was in a dark place mentally. He talked about how the isolation of the bubble environment was getting to him. After a really terrible 3-game slump where fans were clowning him online, he dropped 35 points in a pivotal Game 5 against Dallas and then opened up about what he'd been going through. He said, "The bubble got the best of me. I was just in a bad place. I really wasn't there. I really wasn't here. I checked out." So Paul George didn't just talk about this once and move.
So what's up? What y'all think about that? 25 games for PEDs. Now, what I don't understand is what was he using to make him test, to make him fail his drug test? Like, I know he talked about mental health, and Paul George is one of the first basketball players to speak out about mental health. But at the same time, it's like, damn, bro, you cost you $12 million. But honestly, my opinion, I think he's just uninterested with the game. Honestly, I think you paying these guys a lot of money. A lot of these guys don't have the work ethic anyway. So you're giving these guys 100 million, 20 million, and they ain't doing shit all day. And they they're getting weirded out. So honestly, I think Paul George has been over NBA. Like I really feel like he's been over playing ball with these guys. I feel like he just want to go spend his money and go do whatever. I think he's over it. Like I honestly think he's over it. I honestly think he's over it. Like, and you can't tell me no different. He plays like it. His decision making as far as teams has never been good. Yeah, I just think it's time for him to pack it up. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I just feel like he should go ahead on and keep it moving because I don't get it. I don't understand what more do you have to how much more do you have to try to make these players play? You giving them money, you giving them this, you giving them that, and these players don't want to play. So it just is what it is, and I know people gonna like, oh, you crazy for that, this, that, and the third, but it's like, bro, these dudes don't want to play, and now you getting suspended. Now you getting suspended for all this other little weird shit. It's like, man, come on, man. It's like, come on. Go ahead and get out the way. If you're gonna get out the way, just go ahead and get out the way. That's how I look at it. Y'all reach out to me. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about that. Again, I'm always open for discussion. Y'all can always hop on with me. I'm always willing to bring people on live. I'm always willing to talk. I'm on TikTok live now with my guy, the real McCoy. We on TikTok live. We on TikTok live with my guy, the real McCoy. So tap in with his right now. Real McCoy, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I got you on the live screen right now on YouTube.
Let's see if I can. I forgot how to do the dual camera.
So we over here working.
But yeah, did you get to see the game last night?
Yeah, I definitely hold on. I got to see the game last night. I was at the bar watching it.
I got it playing in the background. I didn't get to see it, so
okay.
My little dude chilling out. We about to go to get Chuck E. Cheese in a minute.
Okay.
I was like, man, let me see if I can get these prompts. I got to start getting the show going. So many people just be on here. I feel like talking about stuff that don't really get nowhere. So I'm like, let me try.
You feel me? You feel me? I got you live on my pod. They hear you, bruh. You know what I'm saying?
So you know what I'm saying? Today's, you tune in onto the TikTok. That's where the show will be held on the TikTok. My prompt is it's like stability ? And then it's a guy fork in the road, desire and discipline. You know what I'm saying? I think your stability really depends on how you handle those two aspects. And I don't know if it's pure facts, but I'm willing to talk about it and discuss it. So then the bigger question is, and I know this might trigger some people, but should emotional and financial stability come before engaging in sex?
Let's talk about it.
Don't nobody want to talk about
it. They don't want to talk about it. Shout out to TikTok. Shout out your live TikTok on her so they could jump on.
Yeah. Share the screen. I'm gonna hit the share real quick.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't think people really want to talk about that. And then, like, cause even being somebody who did, engage in different things, like horrible financial and sexual practices before getting my emotions and money together. And honestly, it costs some people a lot, so I think everybody don't get hit with it, but it could get dangerous if you have to pay for a certain level of ignorance when it comes to emotional stuff and financial stuff when you just throw kids in it.
Right. Yeah, so we definitely, that's what we covering on TikTok today. Tap in. I'm on live on both. Shout out to the Real McCoy TV.
What up, Caden? Shout out, Caden.
Yes, sir.
What to say about the prompt? See the bottom of it cut off. That's why I got to work on my, work on.
So yeah.
All the words in there, you know what I'm saying?
So yeah, that was the Real McCoy. He tapped in on. We on TikTok live too. So we trying to get this whole thing going, this whole media thing going. So we always open to new people joining us, hopping on the live streams. If you want to try to grow your platform or you trying to pop out, you got something you want to talk about, man, come holler at me. Come holler at the Real McCoy. Like at the end of the day, we know gatekeepers over here. You know what I mean? We know gatekeepers over here. Like I said, the Real McCoy came and got me on some shit. I was something that I've been wanting to do this YouTube shit for a while. I just was like, how I'm gonna do it. That was my biggest thing, right? Like, how I'm gonna do it. I don't know how to do it. It seems tedious. It seems scary. It seems this. Man, just jump out there. Just jump out there. I mean, just jump out there. That's all I could tell you. Like I said, I've been doing this YouTube thing for not a long time. I've been in and out of it for like I do it and I stop, and I do it and I stop, and I do it. So I've been in and out of it, but this time I kind of like hit it hard, and I'm seeing results across all my platforms. And people say, like, what you doing it for? Me, like I said, to me it's therapeutic to sit here and talk to you guys, to sit here and, you know, either discuss some of my situations with you guys or hear some of you guys' situations, and just to debate back and forth. Debating is good for me. I like to debate. So yeah, man, anytime y'all want to reach out and we can get something popping. Man, I don't know what just happened here. When we can get something popping, man, you know, we know gatekeepers over here. We gonna make it work. You know what I'm saying? So rolling into the next topic, you probably see it at the bottom. Jay-Z is in the EPPDF file. How my boy was at the mansion? Hove, was you at the mansion, Hove? You was on the island, Hove? Like, what the fuck was y'all doing on this island? I want to know what's going on. It's like they taking down all our black men with sex. They taking down all our black men with sex. They taking it down. So black men out there, stop sending them freaky ass text messages because they're gonna come back to you. So let's tap in with my boy Poetic Flacco and see what's going on.
Brief recap. So the Epstein files were released yesterday. Now, when the Epstein files were released, this document was included in the Epstein files, and it mentioned Jay-Z. Now, when Epstein was initially arrested in 2019, there was a tip line that was opened by the FBI where anybody could call in and leave a tip about Epstein. The feds opened up this tip line because they believed that, you know, the Epstein information they had was only the tip of the iceberg. Now, somebody called into the tip line in 2019 and they left a tip. Now, they claim, that they was abducted and they were by Epstein on multiple occasions, that they were during parties. On one occasion, she was abducted from her home and she woke up in the presence of Harvey Weinstein and Jay-Z at Epstein's mansion in Florida. Now, she would claim that when she woke up in the presence of Jay-Z and Weinstein, Jay-Z stood by as she got by Weinstein when Weinstein inserted his fingers into her bodily autonomy. Now, again, she didn't really list nothing that Jay-Z did particularly, but Jay-Z even being there and watching, then, minor being by, Epstein and Weinstein, that's still bad in all. But the story itself began to break down when she claims that she was abducted 7 times, that the didn't stop until 2006 when she would have been well into her adult ages. So all in all, if you hate Jay-Z, you believe this. If you like Jay-Z, you don't believe it. And it's causing chaos online, right? Now, the one part of this that's being heavily scrutinized is this William Barr excerpt, right? So she claims that Leon Black and the current United States Attorney General, William Barr, was present during some of the occasions of it. The iHeartMedia Jay-Z defenders ran to the timeline to defend Jay-Z by attempting to point out what they would claim is wrong information or something that discredits the entire tip line transcript. They would claim that when the person claims that the current Attorney General, William Barr, was present, that they were incorrect because William Barr served as the Attorney General in 1991 to 93, and he was not the Attorney General in 94. So, they lied. So hence, the entire tip is discredited. But it looked like she rushed to Jay-Z's defense a little too soon because when you scroll down, she was brutally fact-checked. The FBI report describes William Barr as the current United States Attorney General at the time of his filing in July 2019 when he held that position, not in 1994 as he claims, because, the report or the FBI tip line was in 2019 and William Barr was the AG in 2019. But nonetheless, bro, listen, at this point, if you're somebody who supports Jay-Z, then you look at this and you say, bro, this is a tip line. It was never really investigated. It wasn't found credible, right? So, like what? Like we're...
So what y'all think of that? Like, what y'all think about that? Do y'all think Jay-Z was there? I mean, it's clearly in the files that was there. It's clearly in the files that Epstein was playing with a little girl while he was there. So to me, you just as guilty for being there, even if you ain't do shit, you ain't stop shit. So like, I think this Epstein file shit is gonna run its course, and I think it's gonna be crazy. I think we're gonna find out more entertainers. I think we're gonna find out more athletes, more politicians. I feel like we're gonna have more politicians involved in it more than anything. I just I feel like with anything that happens in America, they're gonna roll the black people up under the bus first. So no matter if they get caught, I feel like we was brung over here to be the downfall guys. So one of the reasons we was brung over here to be the downfall people. So I'm thinking for real, I think they seeing all the entertainers and just rolling them out in front of them, because I feel like they all guilty, black, white, green, yellow, and indifferent. I feel like they all guilty of being at these Harvey Weinstein parties or Diddy parties or Epstein parties, and they all taking little girls. Like I was having a discussion with a young lady not too long ago, and I was telling them, I was like, I feel like that's always been the United States hustle, was like sex trafficking. It's like no matter what, it always happens. It's like now that they're trying to put a cap on drugs, they finally trying to cap the shit on drugs. But now I feel like sex trafficking, organ harvesting, all that is at an all-time high, to the point they're just having babies just to take the organs. You got, you gotta understand, Granddaddy Rockefeller had 6 heart surgeries. You know what I'm saying? He had 6 different hearts. And I heard he got them from all black people. I don't know how true it is, but that's the type of word. The other side is dying off, and they're trying their hardest not to die off. And they're doing a lot of things, and it's a lot of shit going on with this shit. So I truthfully, respectfully, this is some nasty shit. It's corny as fuck. I don't give a fuck if these guys are my favorite rappers, singers, basketball players, athletes. I don't care. I'm not for none of that. I'm not for none of that at all. Like, at all. And I think that shit is corny as hell. And something should be done. Something should definitely be done. Again, we at the 27-minute mark. For the people who's tapped into the live, the people who's going in and out of the live, I just want to say again, I appreciate y'all for tapping in. I appreciate y'all for taking your time, spending your morning with me. Like I said, I'm trying to drop these shows more frequently. Trying to drop them more frequently so that we can really vibe. You know what I mean? We can really vibe. Next up, I want to talk about these layoffs, man. You got UPS, Amazon, and FedEx laying off 30,000 jobs apiece. You got, some saying it's due to the robots, some saying delivery is down. Me, I just think we enter into the AI phase, and AI is starting to take over logistics. So I feel like that's what's going on. Elon Musk has said, in the next 10 to 20 or 15 years that we're going to start getting checks from the government due to just the robots doing all the work for us. So I don't know how that's going to be, because I think boredom is going to set in. I think humans are the craziest motherfuckers on this earth. So that's neither here or there. Let's check out this clip. Let's check out this clip over here, and let's see. No, hold on. You talking too much, Miss Wu. Hold on. You talking too much. Hold on. Let's check out this clip over here.
Employees as it continues to adjust its. This news, Amazon says it's laying off 16,000 employees as it continues to adjust its workforce. It cites a need to be nimble to increase decision-making speed around AI. The cuts follow 14,000 others just in October. Amazon says it will continue to drop staffing as needed, and that includes with potential hires in other strategic areas.
And UPS says it's cutting up to 30,000 jobs. The New York Times reporting that the company expects to deliver fewer Amazon packages this year. UPS says it will reduce staff. They plan to cut those doing voluntary separation offers for instead full-time drivers. According to the Times, the cuts also will affect warehouse workers. The new cuts follow tens of thousands last year. UPS has said it wants to reduce its work with Amazon, calling the partnership is largely unprofitable.
So that's what I've been hearing too. Also, is that partnering with Amazon is not as beautiful as people like to try to make it seem out to be, especially with third-party delivery people. I've been hearing that it's Amazon really just comes on. Amazon really just comes on and like really like bogarts their way onto the scene. Um, so like with them just saying that FedEx is not dropping off as much packages, UPS not gonna drop off as much Amazon packages because it's not it don't make no sense for them. Pretty much is what they saying financially. It does not it don't make no sense. So you got that going on. Then you got Amazon readjusting with robots. They're getting ready to replace jobs with robots and shit like that. So I I don't know. To me, because everybody I know order shit. So to me, it's a weird dynamic. Like you say, okay, packages of ordering is down, but then I'm like, shit, everybody I know fucking grocery shop everything off Amazon. So I don't know. I think it's like what the clip said. I think they are trying to transition into doing other things. But I don't know. I think something's weird going on there. I think something weird going on there, but at the end of the day, it is what it is, man. You would never understand with this logistic world, these robots. The best thing for you is always to save your money for a rainy day. Always save your money for a rainy day because this economy is so fucking fickle. This economy is just fucking fickle and it's corny as hell. But, whatever. It is what it is, Know how this shit go. Tap in with me. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all think. What's going on with it? Let me know if I'm right or wrong. If you want to debate about it, I'm always open to the debate. You know what I mean? So let's do it. How I go. But we rounding out to the end of the show. Again, I want to thank my peoples for showing up on the live. We done had like 3 or 4, 5 people come in through the live on YouTube. I will be clipping these segments and I will be sending them out. Please let's keep the traffic going. Let's keep it up. Chevy Rose. I really appreciate everybody who take the time out and who's listening and what's going on. I like to end the show with just a conversation. A thoughtful, just a thoughtful piece. That's how I like to end the show. Last time we sat here and we talked about mental health and how important mental health was to not just, Black guys, but to everybody. Mental health is something that, we all deal with. Mental health is something that, it's hard to see if it's going on, but when it's going on, it's there. It's almost like a black cloud that follows you almost. If you let it take over your life, you let it take over your life. So I've been getting a lot of questions about, being in a marriage was one of the causes, and what advice do you have for younger guys that want to be married and want to do things like that? My thing is, what I say to them all the time is always make sure that person is for you. Whether you gotta, just make sure that person is for you. Make sure that person loves you. Make sure that person adores you. As men, we get caught up in doing what we have to do, then it turns into a business transaction, then you put yourself in a hole. So, like I always say, just make sure. I'm not a person that's against marriage. I just don't think I'm ever doing that shit again. But I'm not a person that's against it. I just say always start your own family, create your own bloodline, and make sure you're ready for that move. And you don't have to jump in it early. Take your time, young man. I say the best advice I can give somebody is to make sure yourself together first. Make sure you're together financially. Make sure you're together mentally. Make sure that you're together physically, because it is a daunting task and it's a contract that usually don't work out in our favor. So go into that having your own and do the right things to make sure that you keep your own in case it does not work out. That's like the best PR way I can say it, because I'm not here to dog. I'm not here to kick nobody. I'm not here to do none of that. Like I said, when you come to Chevy Rose Talks, we talk for real. And what I want, I know I do the news thing and I do everything, but what I want you to get out of this is if you can get advice out of this to help you in your personal life, I mean, I've done my job. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, let's keep reaching out to each other. Let's keep checking on each other. Let's keep having these conversations. And again, I'm not no gatekeeper. If you want to jump on, you want to have these conversations, you want to jump on the pod, let's talk. Let's talk. I'll bring you on the pod. We can discuss. I do interviews, all types of things. So again, if you want to hop on, just hop on and let's talk. We can have these conversations. You know, we all got trauma. We all got issues. We all got them. You know, a lot of it, if you bump into somebody who dealt with some of the same things you deal with and can help you navigate, you're never too big to have that advice. You're never too big for it, you know. But again, I want to thank you guys. I hope that you like the videos. I hope that you like all the videos. I would love you guys to follow me on Instagram at Face No Case No 30. Instagram again, Face No Case No 30. I would love for y'all to follow me on my TikTok at Swish. Oh, let me see. I'm gonna put my TikTok up here too. I don't know about heart because I already just did it. So we're gonna do my TikTok is Swish0470. I'm gonna put that at the bottom of the screen. Yeah, I just want y'all to tap in, man, on all platforms. You know, on all platforms. This is what we doing. We gonna grow this. We gonna grow this. Let me see what I say. I'm old when it comes to this, y'all, too. So 0470. Swish 0470. So yeah, I just definitely want y'all to tap in, man. Let me know how the show went. Give me the reviews. Give me what y'all think. Appreciate y'all. I'm gonna stand here. I'm gonna let the banner play, but I'm gonna holler at y'all. Tap in with me tomorrow. I might be back on tonight. Anytime you see Chevy Rose live pop on, come holler at me. Did I miss any subjects? If I did, my bad. I'll be back later. Holla at y'all. Love y'all. Peace, love. LL Cool J style.